Welcome back to the theater of human complexity, welcome back to whatever you need. We are gathered here today not to indulge in mere whispers, but to witness the cracking of a dam that has held back a torrent of speculation for years. If you believe in exploring the deeper currents beneath the surface of stardom, you are in the right place. Before we step into the storm, ensure you have subscribed and rung the bell. And for those true connoisseurs of deep dive analysis who wish to power the rigorous work we do here, I invite you to click that join button. Your support is the bedrock of our independence. Today, we are looking at a moment that will undoubtedly be etched into the annals of European magazine history. We are speaking of Yaman, a titan of the screen whose cross-continental fame is matched only by the intense scrutiny of his private life. For years, a specific narrative has circulated in the shadows, a persistent rumor involving the beloved Demet Özdemir and the enigmatic Sarah Bluma. It was a story told in hushed tones, reignited daily in the coliseums of social media, yet never confirmed by the principals involved. Until now. Yaman has broken his legendary silence, and with a few decisive sentences, he has rewritten the past and set fire to the present. The setting was an exclusive interview, the kind where the air is usually thick with rehearsed answers and carefully curated personas. Yet, as the journalist finished asking the question that has hung over Yaman's career like a persistent fog, the atmosphere in the room instantly solidified. Yaman, a man renowned for protecting his privacy with fortress-like dedication, chose that precise moment to drop the drawbridge. His words were not evasive, they were blunt instruments of truth. "Yes, it's true," he declared, his unwavering gaze cementing the gravity of the moment. "That was the reason we broke up." With those words, the speculative house of cards collapsed into reality. He did not stop there. He proceeded to dissect the anatomy of the heartbreak that ended the fairytale era with Demet Özdemir. "The trust between us was affected," he continued, laying bare the core wound. "Yes, there was a third person. And yes, I found that unacceptable." These three brief sentences sent a seismic shockwave across the digital landscapes of both Turkey and Italy. There was absolutely no need for him to utter a name. The collective consciousness of millions immediately conjured the same image, Sarah Bluma. For months, the breadcrumbs had been there, the energetic, sometimes provocative behavior of Bluma on one side, the dignified, prolonged silence of Özdemir on the other. And standing precisely in the turbulent center was Yaman, the man who had kept the volatile dynamics of this trio hidden in the dark for years, only to suddenly illuminate everything with a blinding spotlight. To understand the magnitude of this confession, we must look beyond the mere facts, and into the psychology of the men speaking them. Perhaps the key to unlocking this entire saga lies in a single phrase Yaman uttered, a mantra that reveals the depth of the scar tissue. "I could forgive, but I won't forget." This is not the statement of someone who has moved on casually. This is a declaration from someone deeply affected by the events that transpired. It clearly reveals why he maintained such a stoic silence for so long, processing the pain, and why, ultimately, when he chose to speak, he did so with such definitive finality. He is a man who remembers, and his memory has now become public record. I want to pause here and ask you, our thoughtful community. What do you make of Can's stance? Do you believe that forgiving but not forgetting is a path to healing, or is it a heavy burden to carry? Let us know your thoughts on trust and memory in the comments below. And if you appreciate this level of detailed analysis, please destroy that like button. It helps the algorithm bring these important stories to more viewers. Naturally, the moment Yaman's words hit the airwaves, the collective gaze of the media pivoted violently toward Demet Özdemir. Demet and Can were not just co-stars, they were considered one of the defining on-screen couples of their generation, building a massive, passionate fan base bonded by their undeniable chemistry both professionally and off-camera. The dissolution of that bond was painful for fans, but Can's recent admission has reportedly reopened old wounds for Demet. According to accusations emerging from her inner circle, there is a profound sense of betrayal. Not just from the past events, but from Can's decision to speak now. Sources close to her whisper a sentiment steeped in bitterness. "I've kept quiet for him all this time. I wish he had done the same for me." It is alleged that Demet has been emotionally and professionally exhausted by the years of speculation, distressed by the constant, unwanted association of her name with a scandal she did not create. Her team is now telling a different story, one that has never been reported by the press until now. A friend states that Demet was particularly devastated that Sarah's name was ever included in the narrative of their relationship. Whether the accusations are true or false is almost secondary to the pain of being constantly portrayed as the center of this messy debate. Just because I don't say anything, everyone assumes everything is true, she reportedly claimed, highlighting the heavy toll of dignified silence. Demet attributed her years of reluctance to comment on Yaman to a deep sense of respect, a respect she now feels was not reciprocated in his latest explosive statement. Following Yaman's sensational statements, the person everyone was waiting with bated breath to hear from was, inevitably, Sarah Bluma. Bluma, known for her frequently suggestive posts and her ability to make headlines with comments perceived as veiled references to both Can and Demet, initially chose a strategic silence. But that silence is cracking. Reports indicate that Sarah, admitting to feeling nervous in conversations with her inner circle, now feels a compulsion to speak out. The motivation is clear, not only to explain her side of the story, but to defend herself. A representative close to Sarah stated that she was deeply affected by Can's statement, particularly shocked by the heavy insinuation of cheating. She believes she has been unfairly accused in the court of public opinion. The word from her camp is that she will be making a statement soon, but do not expect a hasty social media post. Plans are being laid for her to speak on a serious platform, indicating that she intends to match Can's gravity with her own. These preparations suggest that a much bigger storm is gathering on the horizon, one where accusations will be met with counter-narratives. Before we analyze the strategic fallout, I want to remind you that your engagement is what fuels these deep dives. If you haven't already, consider hitting that join button on our homepage. Becoming a member of Whatever You Need means you are directly supporting independent, nuanced media analysis. It's a small step for you, but a giant leap for our community's ability to keep digging for the truth. While the emotional fallout continues, a fascinating and rather strategic game is being played on Yaman's side of the board. His team is not scrambling for damage control, they are executing a calculated pivot. As soon as the statement was released, Can's management revised their communication plans in both Turkey and Italy, launching a bold new image campaign. The narrative they are crafting is one of radical honesty. Can no longer wants to hide certain truths, say team members. They are convinced that the actor's career will not be harmed by this revelation of betrayal and heartbreak, but rather strengthened by it. We spoke to a public relations expert who shared a key insight into this high-risk maneuver. Such a strong and clear statement is risky, yes. But Yaman's massive international audience tends to support these bold, unfiltered statements. So instead of damaging his career, this incident could help him project a more real, authentic, and relatable image. They are betting that the image of a wounded man standing in his truth is more powerful than the image of a perfect, untouchable idol. In the wake of the statement, the internet has become a vast archaeological dig site. Social media users are dusting off old posts, re-examining overlooked details, and connecting dots that previously seemed irrelevant. They are bringing up those infamous, seemingly casual posts Sarah made in the middle of the night years ago, now reading them as deliberate signals. They are revisiting old accusations that Demet was seen crying on set during that turbulent period, viewing her tears now through the lens of Can's confession. They are analyzing the vague, melancholy statements Yaman made just before his high-profile move to Italy. They are mapping out the timelines where Sarah and Can were seen in the same cities on the same days, noting the conspicuous absence of side-by-side photos, which now looks less like coincidence and more like careful choreography. Users are putting all these fragmented pieces together, and a dramatic, cohesive picture is emerging from the fog of the past. The audience is no longer just consuming the story, they are actively reconstructing it. The media was thrown into chaos following Yaman's sensational declaration, but it turns out that confession was just the prologue. According to deepening rumors, the tension between these three is much more profound and stretches back much further than we ever imagined. We know now that serious trust issues corroded the relationship in its later stages. Sources state that the uncertainty can never defining his relationship with Sarah, yet never fully clarifying his standing with Demet, created a fierce emotional battleground between the three of them. It completely shattered the already fragile walls of a beloved romance. The big question hanging over us all is, when Sarah Bluma speaks, what truths will she unveil? Will Demet Özdemir break her dignified silence to reclaim her own narrative? And what will Yaman's next move be in this high-stakes game of reputation and memory? The invisible link between these three has been one of the most anticipated topics in the media for years. Today it has become more evident, complex, and explosive than ever. And it seems this storm is only just beginning. We have reached the end of another deep dive here on Whatever You Need. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video so others can understand the gravity of this story. If you want to support us further, remember the join button is waiting for you. Until next time, keep your eyes open, because the truth is often hiding in plain sight. Goodbye.